My husband, Ethan, arrived just as I was finishing giving birth to our daughter. We were all holding the baby. The doctor smiled big and tried to pass the baby to Ethan. "She's so full of energy, she's your beautiful daughter," the doctor said. But Ethan replied, "Do a DNA test on her," with a serious face. "Sorry, what?" the doctor asked. Everyone in the room went quiet when they heard what Ethan said. I was too tired from giving birth to speak. I could only watch and wonder what Ethan would say next. Then Ethan shocked everyone by saying, "There's a chance this baby isn't mine. My name is Emma, I'm 28, and I work in an office. I married my husband, Ethan, 3 years ago. We met at a party. Ethan was kind, a true gentleman, and really social. I liked him right away. We went on a lot of dates, became a couple, and after a while, we got married. We were happy together, sharing chores and supporting each other. We had small arguments now and then, but nothing serious. We had talked about having kids someday, but we wanted to enjoy our time as newlyweds first, so we didn't focus on starting a family right away. When we hit our 3rd year of marriage, Ethan's parents started talking about how badly they wanted grandkids. Ethan and I talked about it and decided to try for a baby. At first, I wasn't sure it would happen, but after doing a lot of research and trying some things, I finally got pregnant. Ethan was so happy when I told him. Since it was my first pregnancy, I felt nervous and unsure. I often asked my cousin, Alex, and his wife, Rachel, for advice. Alex and Rachel were very helpful since they had kids of their own. As my belly grew, it got harder to move around. Morning sickness was really bad, and I didn't feel well. I wanted Ethan's help, but he started getting busier at work. He came home late each day and started blaming me for not doing the housework when I couldn't. "Why isn't dinner ready?" he asked one night. "I'm sorry," I said. "The morning sickness is making me feel awful," I explained. "So that's why you've been lying on the couch all day? Are you taking advantage of being pregnant?" he asked. "Excuse me?" I replied, shocked. "I come home tired, but you're just relaxing at home all day. You even took maternity leave to do nothing. It's embarrassing." "What?" I said, confused. Ethan didn't understand why I had to take time off, because I wasn't feeling well. Maybe his job was stressing him out, but what I was going through wasn't easy either. It was tough for me to go grocery shopping and do housework while I was feeling so sick. But since my husband, Ethan, was blaming me, I felt like I had to do something about it. Both my parents had passed away, so I couldn't rely on them for help. I didn't think it was right to ask Ethan's parents either. So, I thought about my cousin, Alex, and his wife, Rachel. Alex works from home, and his schedule is flexible, so he has more free time. Since Rachel was home with him, I asked if they could help me out sometimes. They both agreed and started coming over when I was having a hard time with morning sickness. They went grocery shopping with me, helped clean the house, and even cooked dinner for me. They shared their experiences with pregnancy and raising kids, which I really appreciated. It made things so much easier. Ethan didn't seem to mind since the house was clean, and dinner was ready on time. But I had a lot of complaints. Not only was Ethan working late more often, but he even started working on his days off. One day, I complained to him about how busy he was. "Can't you cut back a little on your work? I really need you here with me while I'm struggling with the pregnancy." When I said this, Ethan seemed annoyed and disgusted. "I'm working hard for our baby, and now you're saying you don't want me to work?" he snapped. "That's not what I mean," I said. "I just wish you'd spend more time at home. Don't you think you're being selfish? You need to understand what I'm going through," Ethan said, then walked off to his room. I started to worry. Was it okay for us to be misunderstanding each other with the baby coming soon? Would Ethan really love our baby? I felt so anxious that I turned to Alex and Rachel for advice. They both said Ethan's words were too harsh, but they reassured me that they thought Ethan would love the baby once she was born. I just hoped that Ethan would raise our baby the right way. As my due date got closer, my husband never seemed to worry about me. When I told him I was going to give birth soon, he said, "Just remind me when the baby's about to arrive." My cousin Alex and his wife, Rachel, tried to encourage me, but I was still really nervous. A few days later, my contractions started, and I went to the clinic. Alex and Rachel already had plans that day, so I called my in-laws and asked them to come over. My father-in-law, Bob, drove me to the clinic. When we got there, The staff told us to go straight to the delivery room. It was time to begin. The birth wasn't easy, and it took longer than I expected. But because of the delay, Ethan was able to rush over after work and arrived just as I was finishing giving birth to our daughter. We were all holding the baby when the doctor, smiling, tried to hand her to Ethan. "The baby's full of energy, she's your adorable daughter," the doctor said. But Ethan replied, "Do a DNA test on her," with a serious look on his face. "Sorry, what?" the doctor asked. Everyone in the room froze when they heard what Ethan said. I couldn't believe what he was saying. Ethan's strange demand made both his parents panic. "Liam, what are you saying? The baby's just born, and you're asking for a DNA test? What's wrong with you?" I was too tired from giving birth to speak properly. I could only watch and wait to see what Ethan would say next. Then Ethan shocked everyone by saying, "There's a chance this baby isn't mine." Everyone froze again in disbelief. I was spinning with confusion, but I managed to say, "Why would you say that? She's your daughter." Ethan looked at me coldly and said he thought I'd been having an affair. "So, we should at least find out who the real father is. Let's do a DNA test," he said. The doctor, looking confused, replied, "But you need your wife's permission for that." Ethan sighed and said, "I bet she'll say no to the test. She always makes things difficult." The way he said that made me furious. "Fine, I'm innocent. I don't know why you're suspecting me, but if you want to investigate, then go ahead," I said, my frustration taking over. That moment wiped away the exhaustion I'd felt earlier. I glared at Ethan as I spoke, and he replied, "Well, don't mind if I do," before walking out of the room. After he left, the room felt awkward. My in-laws probably believed me, but they didn't seem fully convinced either. The doctor didn't seem too concerned. It looked like this kind of thing happened often. What shocked me most was that Ethan didn't even look at our baby, let alone hold her. No matter how much he doubted me, how could he not be interested in his own child? At that moment, I decided that if the DNA results cleared me, I would confront Ethan and demand an explanation. Depending on what he said, I might even consider divorce. I was on maternity leave, but once I went back to work, I could support my daughter as a single mom. So, I didn't care if divorce was the result. After that, I did the DNA test my husband, Ethan, had asked for and waited for the results. On the day we were supposed to get the results, Ethan seemed strangely confident. How could he look so sure of himself? When the doctor came in with the report, he said, "I will now share the results. This child is not your biological child." My mind went blank. What was going on? I hadn't cheated on Ethan. Ethan grinned and said, "See, I knew it. You're the worst. Emma, you tried to get me to raise a child you had from an affair, but you couldn't fool me. I'm divorcing you and making you pay alimony. You'll pay for this." With that, Ethan started to leave the room. I was in shock. Was this a nightmare? How could this happen? But then the doctor spoke again, but everyone turned to look at him. "The report seems to be fake." "What?" I said, confused. Ethan, who had stopped in his tracks, looked shocked. "Fake? What are you talking about?" Ethan asked, clearly upset. The doctor looked straight at Ethan and said, "I know you have a friend at the lab where you ordered the DNA test." Ethan's eyes widened. "That's why I suspected the results might be fake. So, I had another private lab do the test. The results confirm that you are the biological father of your daughter." "So, the original results were fake?" the doctor asked. "No, no way. I didn't fake anything," Ethan stammered, sweating. The doctor replied, "There's no point denying it. I have a friend at the same lab, and I had him investigate. Your friend admitted he took money from you to create false results. Why did you do this to Emma?" Ethan, now panicking, couldn't stop sweating. Just then, Alex and Rachel came into the room. "What's going on?" Alex asked. "We were suspicious about what you said about Ethan," Rachel added. "Huh? What do you mean?" I asked. "Rachel's friend is an investigator, so we asked them to look into Ethan. Turns out your husband has been having an affair. We even have proof," Alex said, handing me photos. "What?" I gasped. So, Ethan was the one who had been cheating on me all along. At this point, Ethan's face was completely pale. "Why is everyone investigating me?" Ethan asked. Ryan surprised everyone as he stood in front of Ethan. "You really are the worst. Your lover is the daughter of the president of a big company, and it looks like you're planning to marry her. So, You were planning to leave Emma and be with your lover, right? What? You even investigated that much about me? Ethan stammered. Hey, Ethan, is that true? I asked, furious. No, no, he tried to deny it. Ryan continued, you can't get away with this. It turns out your lover didn't know you were married, so we told her. Now you must be in big trouble since you lied to the daughter of a major company. No way, Ethan muttered, looking defeated. You're the worst, Ethan. You tried to accuse me of cheating, but all along, you were just trying to make yourself happy, I shouted. As you wish, I'll divorce you gladly, but I will make sure you pay alimony and child support. Hearing this, Ethan collapsed to his knees. Ethan lost his job soon after. His lover was furious when she found out he was married and had lied to her. Her father personally called the president of Ethan's company, leading to his termination. I successfully divorced Ethan. Alimony was paid right away, but Ethan could only pay child support in installments. If he was late, my lawyer contacted him immediately. As a result of this, Ethan was cut off by his parents. Now, he can't find a new job because he offended the president of a major company. He's working a low-paying part-time job to pay off his debts, living a poor life all alone. It's all his fault, and honestly, it feels good to see him like this. Meanwhile, I was safely discharged from the hospital, curious about why the doctor had been so supportive. I asked him before leaving the clinic. The doctor said something I didn't expect. At first, I didn't recognize your name because it had changed, but your father was my mentor. What? I asked, surprised. When I was in high school and unsure about my future, your father, who was my teacher, gave me advice and support. Because of him, I was able to work hard and get into medical school. I'm forever grateful to him, so I wanted to help you however I could. Wow, I see, thank you so much. I don't know what I would have done without you, doctor. I thanked him, and he said I could call him anytime. Later, I visited Ryan and Rachel to thank them, too. Without them, I never would have found out about Ethan's affair. I've realized that I'm able to live a good life because of the support of so many people. Now, I will live my life helping others, just as they helped me. But first, I'll take great care of my beautiful, lovable daughter. There's no way I'd ever fake a DNA test. It's disgusting that Ethan did it just to try to have a better life with his rich lover. I hope Ethan hits rock bottom. And I hope Emma lives happily with her daughter, grateful for the people who supported her. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in the next video.